So now we have to make sure that certain things are not hindering the flow of God. Number one, relationships. God's been dealing with relationships with people. I had an example of, it was a lady in the book of God's Generals that my husband was reading, and he said, you need to read this about this woman. I had been waking up catching Catherine Kuma on TV. At 5:30 in the morning, I just pop open and she's looking at me talking. I was in the chair sleeping. I just woke up and she's on TV. This woman has such a powerful anointing on her life. Benny Hinn, he just highly, he calls her his mother. She's such an inspiration to him. And when I started learning about who she was, then I finally got her story. Because she has such a sold out life for God. But even with a sold out life for God, we make choices. And in this book, it said that she was single. She was over a church. She had a whole big church, and she was going off different places, different countries ministering. And she met this man in this state, and the man was married. And on that radio, she was going to do broadcasting with him. And 5 years later, this man got a divorce from his wife because really he had developed feelings for her. But he thought it was his wife who wasn't doing what she needed to do as a wife. So he divorced his wife. When really the whole time his heart had moved away from his wife because of his feelings for the evangelist, Catherine Kuma. And then she tried to avoid it. But he kept calling her back. After that 5 years, he kept calling her back. Do this with me. Drew her in, got her off to herself. Oh my God, let me get you by yourself. Get all up in your ears, saying what you want to hear. I'll take care of you. I'll feed you. You ain't got to worry. Don't worry about nothing. I'll make your car payments. I'll pay your rent. You ain't even got to have babies. We'll adopt. He'll set you straight up, tell you all the good stuff you think you want to hear. And then she made a decision to shut down her church, go off and go move, and marry him and go move to his church. Well, when she got to that church, the Spirit of the Lord was never the same on her life. She felt the disconnection. She felt the demotion because he had told her before she married him that wasn't his will. But because of what she desired on the inside of her, it overrode the Spirit of God because she wanted it so bad. She had been single for so long. So when a man of God that was preaching and teaching the word, carrying the Bible, have a TV and the radio ministry came in her life, she thought this had to be it. But it wasn't for her. He still belonged to his wife. Couldn't fix that. Yeah. He still belonged to his wife. When she got to that church and realized the anointing was no longer the same on her life, God told her she cried out for, I think, 3 months. Went by and she was like, Lord, what I do? He said, I never told you to marry him. You want to get back in my will? You got to go. Go back to where I sent you. Open that church back up. Divorce him because I never sent you to him. He still belongs to the first wife. Matter of fact, I believe he went back to her after she left him. And it was never the same. Her church had to start back from the development stage. When she had I think it was 5,000 or 10,000 people in a church. It went back down to a couple of hundred because of disobedience. But she had to labor all over for that seed that was already tilled, already sowed, already developed, already grew up. She had to start back. But it was okay. At least she was in the will of the Father. That she recognized that she had to get out of disobedience and get back into the obedience, regardless of what people thought, regardless of what her feelings were, and that no matter how much she loved him, if he don't belong to her, she had to let it go. Oh, my God.
All right now.
Okay.
Preach that thing.
Oh, my goodness. Then there was another person God put in my spirit. Abraham and Sarah. When they lied to Abimelech and said, she my sister. She not my wife. How are you going to give up the best thing that ever happened to you because of fear? She getting all the glory because of what you done gave up. But it really more glory because Abimelech started falling off and kept trying to figure out, why am I fighting so hard? What's wrong with this picture? I want to marry this woman, but Lord, you telling me good thing he had a strong relationship with God. As he'd have married a woman that wasn't his and failed too. But he recognized because he got up early in the morning. He began to pray. And then the next morning he got up again and called the servants around him to pray with him. Then he can say, okay, Lord, you done commanded this day. I need to go to Abraham and let him know. Why did you tell me this was your sister? God said, she's your wife. I said, wow, God, you got to confront some things in your life. You can't even let Satan think he got you. So I was like, okay, God. Abraham had to get checked by another man of God when he was already the man of God. Because fear jumped in there and made him do something he wasn't supposed to do. Then you got the hidden things in the heart that tries to hinder the womb from calling forth things. In Psalms 51:6 it says about the deep. I can read it at your leisure. There's a truth and there's an order in the Spirit of God. There's a place where God will make wisdom to know you. If you only obey. He'll make wisdom to know you. Stay in his word. You can't even fight it. If you in the obedience of God, he's going to reveal the unsearchables. Things folk can't even speak into your spirit's going to come to you because it's for you. According to your character. According to what he's called forth out of your womb. My ministry ain't like Debbie's ministry. But because I'm connected to the vine, a whole lot of stuff get broken off. I get pruned like she get pruned, but it's for a greater cause for both of us. So we just got to recognize that thing. Those hidden